Kia ora, fellow classmates. Well, let's carry on with the series of Where Are They Now? And I have with me a great mate of all of ours. It's a huge welcome from the man from Taumaranui, Andy Logue. G'day, Andy.
Hey, Huge, how you going?
Aw-
Ex-Tamarunui, mate. Further north these days.
Awesome, mate. Hey, it's awesome to see you, Andy. Myself and a lot of the guys haven't seen you in many years. For me, about 25. Was that your 21st? A bunch
Yeah,
of,
yeah, yeah.
bunch of us came up. Mate, it's great to see you. You're looking awesome.
Hey, thanks, mate.
Awesome, Andy. Hey, well, listen, we're doing this series. I'm just going to ask you a few questions. A lot of guys will be interested to know what you're doing these days. Andy, you were always a great guy at school. We played a bit of rugby together, and you were always doing something fitness, always making something. You were pretty industrious kind of bloke. Just for us, just recap your time at Silverstream for us. How many years and where you came from, etc.
Yeah, well, actually, Tamarunui had a bit of a cohort down there. I think the old primary school turned out a few, guys from that went down to Silverstream. So for me, it was 4 years. I finished up the end of sixth form, which wasn't actually planned, but my old man was quite keen to get me into a trade, and he kind of had a job checked up for me. But as it all panned out, that didn't happen, and I was kind of twiddling my thumbs for probably most of that seventh form year you guys were down there. It certainly I think had a huge impact on kind of where I am today. Really going down there, complete different path to had I have probably stayed back in Tamarunui.
Definitely. Well, I mean, you were a lot of the guys will just be stoked to see you, mate, because you were mates with everyone, and everyone's was good mates with you too. So I know you made some really close bonds there at Stream. Now you were a boarder. Can you remember your third form year and who you boarded with in the bay that you had up in was it at the top of Redwood?
Yeah, that's right, Redwood. Yeah, Bay 3. I think that was a what do we have? Doug McGifford, James Matheson, Hugo McNaught, Chris Marnie. Good Irish names, Catholic Irish names.
Wow.
But yeah, no, that was a pretty hard case crew, and it was an interesting mix. I guess I remember we didn't take us long to we'd form a bit of a gang, and we used to go down to the Hutt River and light up a few smokes. I think we used to light a couple of fires and cook sizzlers down there too. And I kind of remember I think we'd been doing that for probably about 6 weeks or so, and we thought we were being pretty sneaky. We'd built a bit of a hut down there, and I remember Bro Bede one night coming in just saying, I think we were doing night prayers, and said, I'm aware of a bunch of you that are going down to the river smoking. And he said, just remember the punishment of 6 canes. And I think he said that after the first time I might have had 3 canes, and 6 was like would have been like a death sentence. So I think it's probably the last day I had a smoke.
Wow, amazing. Andy Logue, do you still get called Soggy? I know that, with so many years that have passed, I've got to be careful with the nicknames that I refer to people now. Some don't like what they were called, but I think for you, you were definitely Soggy to us, and I think there was Soggy McGlinchey, who was a few years ahead of us. But do you still get called Sogs at all?
No, I don't think outside of school. I don't think anyone knows it, but it's certainly one of those things. If someone yelled it out, and I'm sure they have, I'd certainly still probably turn around.
Oh, legendary. Now, listen, occupation. So what are you doing these days? What are you doing for work?
Yeah, so I did eventually get myself an electrical apprenticeship in Tamarunui. Ended up Hamilton, and then moved up to Auckland and did a little bit of electrical engineering. And I did a postgrad business diploma. So I sort of worked the whole way through. I never did any full-time study. I think 2005, 2006, I started up my own energy consulting business. So it's a sort of more of an engineering consulting. Got some process mechanical, chemical engineers. It's just a sort of small team, but we sort of work throughout New Zealand, working with sort of a lot of generally sort of large, big energy users, a lot of manufacturers, energy efficiency projects, and in these days, kind of decarbonisation, getting away from fossil fuels, etc. So
Good on you, Andy.
Yeah.
It's awesome to hear another fellow old boy doing really well. Now, Andy, married, kids?
Yeah, so married in 2004, I think it was. Yeah, and then we've got two kids, Cohen and Keisha, so 14 and 12. Yeah, both just up here, local schools. I sort of look at my boy now at age 14. It's like it freaking break my heart to send him away to boarding school. It's like, you know, to think that my parents sent me away at age 13. It's quite you realize how young we were.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I believe your wife's name is Greer. Now, how did you meet Greer?
Yeah, it's a bit interesting. I was doing an Ironman training for an Ironman at the time, and I was working with her boss who did like a lot of training programs and stuff. And so I went in there one day to get my fat test done. It's part of a training program thing, and so Greer was taking that, and yeah, I think it took me about 2 weeks to pluck up the courage to try and get hold of her again. So I think I rung up there. I knew their receptionist there, so I rung her up and asked Jan for Greer's number, but she wouldn't give it to me. But she gave my number to her, and yeah, the rest is history.
Wow. So basically, she just fell in love. She just fell in love with the body.
Must have. Didn't scare her.
Good on you. Hey, and where is home for you now?
Yeah, so home's in Takapuna, and as flipping, I don't know. Well, I wouldn't. You know, I mean, what's the chances of flipping living opposite John O'Connor's parents, the house he grew up in? So you bumped into him a couple of years ago, actually, when he was up here. So
yeah, so you're a shore boy now.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. Kids all going to there. So.
Well, mate, you were always a really fit guy. I remember you zooming around doing these big mission cycle rides and things, and you look awesome. You look really fit. So tell us, what kind of sports or events are you doing or into these days?
Yeah, so I'm really big into my kayaking. Lake Pupuki is just local down here, and I've got a great bunch of mates now, and we're all sort of competing in the Masters kind of regattas around the country. What's quite hard case is that we're two of my best mates, and we're pretty much kind of 1, 2, 3 in the Masters categories now. Just I'm number 3, which I'm not too happy about.
Wow. Well, no doubt that's a bit of motivation for you, mate.
It certainly is, yeah. Yes, that's what keeps me sort of busy these days. I mean, I do it most days on the way to work. Yeah.
Good on you, Andy. You're a machine. Now, we had a little bit of a chat earlier, and I didn't know this, and I was just wondering if you could tell the boys that you actually got really, really ill, and you had a bit of an illness there at one stage.
Yeah, no, I was 38 when I got lymphoma, which is blood cancer. It's not a great thing to get. So that was and like a lot of people, I mean, I didn't tick any of the boxes. It's just one of those things, and lucky I'm on the other side of it now. The other story I was saying too is, I had a bit of a botched biopsy there, and I lost a lot of blood, and I was in HDU. I was crook as a dog, and doctors are coming around. I thought I was freaking hallucinating, and there's Mookie in his white coat walking around with the doctors.
Wow, and, Greg Mookie.
Got to have a catch up with him, and he wheeled me back to my ward.
Wow, there's a couple of classmates hanging out, looking after each other.
Oh, crazy, man.
Oh, awesome. Well, Andy, we're getting to the end of the questions. It's been just wonderful catching up with you. I guess sort of the last questions is, do you have any, what are your fondest memories or events that you have of Silverstream? It could be, did you have a favourite teacher that you may have, really liked, or was there a particular sports team? Anything that sort of comes to mind?
I mean, fourth form Burkehouse, under 15A, probably the best mates, group of guys I've hung around with, as just the standout, thing when I think back to school, back to Silverstream. That was such a great year. And, and in terms of teachers, I think I was mentioning to you before, Graham Duffy's probably someone who's, had a substantial sort of impact on my life. And he was my school C maths teacher. And, I remember up until school C, I had never passed a maths exam. And he just pulled about 5 of us aside. He came in on the weekends. He came in on the study days that he had days off. he just worked us, and you know, and that guy, I think, I remember I was 64, 65% for school C maths, and I think that really, you know, set me on a much better course. Just his method of teaching, completely different to any teacher I've ever met. I remember our first lesson with him, and he got up front of the class and said, you know, I failed school C maths. You know, that's kind of the humility I've got, and I just clicked with him, man. He didn't claim to be the smartest teacher, but he taught so well.
Wow, that's incredible. And of course, you're going to be coming down at the end of July for the foundation dinner. And as you know, Graham Duffy's now the rector at Stream. So no doubt you'll be looking forward to catching up with him and having a good chat.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I don't expect he remembers every student, but I certainly remember him.
Yeah, I think you'll be surprised. I think you'll be surprised, but I got no doubt that he'll be looking forward. I'll be sending this video to Graham following this, and I'm sure he'll really appreciate your words.
Yeah.
Man, Andy, that's about it. On behalf of all of us, it's wonderful to see you, particularly after you've told us about the lymphoma story and the comeback. And if anyone, if there is anyone that could come back from such a thing, it is you. You're a pretty strong character, and we're just glad that you're still around. You look wonderful. And I know I speak on behalf of all your fellow classmates that are able to make that dinner. We're looking really forward to catching up with you, mate.
Yeah, no, totally. Me too, mate. Hey, and on behalf of all of us, hey, thanks for getting this all together. That's awesome. It's good to see everyone, and even to see the emails flicking back and forward, you know. So.
Wonderful, Sogs. Well, listen, thanks for your time, my friend. Take good care, and we'll catch up with you soon.
All good. Cheers, Huge.
See you, Sogs. Bye.
Yeah, bye.